Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming and more Arc Raiders. Today we're talking about more mistakes that I've been making, maybe you're making, and things I've been adjusting in my gameplay. Another improvement, so let's get straight into it. Let's kick today's video off with a mistake that I've made a couple times recently and has literally got me killed yesterday, so figured I may as well mention it in this series for exactly that reason. It's a little, I don't know if I can call it a bug, but it's an issue with the game that I do hope they do something about. So let's say you're searching a container, you find something that you want to take, but not in the form that it's in, you want to salvage it first. So naturally you're going to press that button, and then it gives you this menu. But if you want to come out of the menu, we can press tab or whatever and do so. But in the scenario where I'm like, oh yeah, let me just grab the wires from that, not the toaster itself. Then I get this menu. Then I press tab. You can see how this is just in the middle of my screen. And my mouse is gone as well. So I can't press cancel or salvage. I have to press escape, and that brings up the menu. Or maybe you can press tab. But when this kind of thing happens at the wrong time, say someone's coming up the stairs behind me, and exactly as they swing me, I'm doing this, like that has literally killed me yesterday. I wish I hadn't deleted the clip because it was perfect, but I figured it's something I should include in this series as a warning. Hopefully they remove that. Okay, let's talk about some stellar Montis map stuff, such as the new arc, which are the shredders. It would appear that these, by default, fire in a circle around themselves. Through some testing, we found that there's a red line on the ground around them that seems to indicate that. But be aware that they can certainly hit you when you're above or below or whatever. The main detail to think about is line of sight. If you can break line of sight on that explosion, then you can protect yourself. As you can see in this example, I've got two of them going off at the same time, very close to me, but by using a simple pillar, I can block all of their shots at once, which is pretty clutch in tough moments against these things. Otherwise, yes, you can shoot the jets to the bottom with higher impact like heavy ammo. This can really interrupt them and CC them, turning them into not so scary things. There are all kinds of new puzzles on the map, but a couple ones that I think are particularly cool would be, say, the one in the seed vault. You need to unlock it by getting the cell, and you can get it in the nearby areas, whether that's the seed vault air shaft or the rooms just to the north. But the cool detail here is actually in the second and third room. These both have a door that can only be opened from the inside. Once it's open, it's unlocked, so you can open it from either side, no problem. But it's a cool way to escape the situation if you open the seed vault and hear someone come in after you, leaving those ready to be unlocked at the last possible moment. This also means you could set up traps or barricades to protect yourself from anyone pushing in on that side. Another great one is the cafeteria room in the atrium section. In here is a bunch of sort of commercial loot you can fast loot in a condensed location, but there's a little storage room at the back. This requires one cell to open as well, and you can find this on the ground floor of the atrium, like right next to the monument, the broken stairs, and on the ground around here. Bring that to the door, power it up, and inside you're just getting like a mini lush bloom spawn, where there's multiple baskets and raider loot as well. To say that it takes half a second to do this, it is well worth it for the value inside one small room. I'd also like to mention the robotic sandbox in the area A or the north side. You have this little storage room that's closed off and requires powering up as well, but this one requires 3 batteries compared to 1. But thankfully they're all on the west wall in the very same room. So you can just run them across and power it up and get access to all the stuff within, which is like servers, raider loot, containers, and that kind of thing. Worth the effort if you're not interrupted during. Next, for the stellar map, I want to talk about medical research and a kind of problem that exists on this map in general. If you spawn at the medical research area, you need to look at the clock and go, is it 18 minutes left in the raid or less? And if it isn't, then you know more people are spawning in that area immediately. There appears to be somewhere between 2 and 4 spawn locations inside or literally adjacent to the medical research area. And as it is a medical, red quality, highest quality loot location, people want to go there and loot it. So it's an absolute bloodbath every single time. If you're there during the spawn period, you basically have to consider this a constant fight. So if you just want to fight, you should be aware that there's a second spawn that heard all of this and is meters away from you. You can spawn there at 30 minutes and there is genuinely another team inside that research lab with you at that exact moment every single time. It is genuinely stupid. After suffering at the hands of the 3rd or 4th vulture party to come in, we now just have a simple rule that if we spawn there, we wait for the other teams to fight and then clean up and then get out of there, even if we've not had time to loot the place. Because if it's not 18 minutes or less in the raid, too many people are in that one location. But it opens up a general discussion about Stellar Montis as well with the spawns. Because yes, the medical research is an obvious example, but it's happening all over the map. In this example, we've left the research area. Ahead of us is a team. Fighting them is a team. Here's a team just rolling right by us. Seconds later, we just let them go. Then they come back to us, we have to fight them, and guess what's right behind us in that moment? It's another team. The PvP on this map is incredible. It's really exciting, but it feels never ending. It does feel like this is too much. So what do you guys think? Should they lower spawns on that map specifically? Alright, here's a big one that I really want to highlight in a few different ways. The lure grenade, a uncommon, quick use grenade that sticks to surfaces including people and other arc. As it states, it draws fire from the arc. What this actually means is that you have complete control over the current aggro of an arc, or many arc at once, including bigger arc such as the new shredders, bastions, bombardiers, rocketeers is a fantastic example. There's just one simple rule with it. It generates the aggro, and then if you were to shoot it now that the aggro has been lost, you'd instantly reapply the aggro to yourself. So you throw it, and then you don't cause a fuss, you don't damage anything, and then you take advantage of that period where all the attention is off you. Logically, this can be used to massive advantage in tough situations. Most commonly seen at extracts when there's multiple players fighting each other and there's arc involved. You could redirect all of the arc attention to a different player. Or honestly, you could just throw it, direct all the arc attention into a wall or the floor, and leave safely. If you want to get offensive with it, you could bring in a snitch scanner on multiple and then throw a lure grenade to stick to a player and watch them suffer. But this does mean you can get arc to kill one another. As you can see, I can stick it to a hornet and the other wasp start attacking it. Get bigger picture with a rocketeer attacking a bastion or a leaper for you. Here's an example where we get a turret to shoot one of the new shredders. I see the most potential in this concept actually in team play, where if you're being overwhelmed by numbers, using arc to your advantage could change the situation. To craft these, sadly you will need the blueprint though, and utility station level 2. It requires one speaker component per craft, and one electrical component, both of which are pretty damn reasonable to get. So I'm bringing them to like every raid, even if it's just 1 or 2. In those tight moments, when you're being absolutely overwhelmed by arc, it can really turn the tide. Alright, simple one, but an important one. Do you realize how much crouching affects your aim? It has a huge impact on how accurate your shots are, reducing the spread. So if you're about to take a long pot shot at a player, just crouch beforehand. It'll turn it to relatively inaccurate to sniper fire. But it also works for longer spray control, such as using a torrent. Torrents need attachments to reduce the vertical and horizontal recoil of firing it to make it more controllable. But if you just crouch, you get like the massive bonus to this, even while you're holding the spray. So if you get behind a bastion bombardier, you're about to shoot that back battery, crouching means you can be a lot more accurate on that weak spot, which is important. Or if you're in position to smash a player or a team from an off angle while they're distracted, might as well hit the crouch so that you're able to accurately shoot. Next, impact grenades are strongly recommended for raids in general. As I've said before, being able to throw it at a corner being held by a player using third person on you changes a fight, forcing them off the spot or interrupting their heal or shields as they recover. But this is also very relevant for the purpose of wasps and hornets. One impact grenade, one shots a wasp with a direct hit, which is incredibly satisfying and awesome in a tight moment when you don't need the aggro. One single hit to a hornet will leave it close to dead, or 2 impacts will work. Just be careful not to throw them at the target when it's too close to you, because the AoE still goes off and can hit you. Still, cool trick with them. Now some movement stuff. Everyone knows that when you drop off something high, you can spam roll and then prevent the damage by landing the roll. But at the same time, there are heights that are a little bit too high for that to work. In those cases, roll off the ledge, and then you'll begin your fall momentum actually lower to the ground as a starting point. This reduces the need to roll at the bottom, but if you're dropping from high enough, it basically allows you to roll and then start the fall from a lower height, then roll again as you hit it to completely mitigate fall damage. If there's not like a drop to a mantle location to do that, this is a fantastic option, and I've started to weave it into all my gameplay. Sprint slide movement is fantastic. But did you know you can sprint slide while placing any kind of utility on the ground? That's the mines, the barricades, that kind of thing. The only issue with the barricade is that it's being placed as a physical object, so you can't slide over the place you're placing. So as you're sliding, you place the barricade just to your side, and then as it begins to form, you roll into your now placed cover. So you can move while placing these, instead of being in a relatively held in place, exposed for some free headshots if they can see you right there. The slick use of this then could be placing it to your side as you're sliding as someone's attacking you from behind or something, and then rolling into this new cover you've made. Suddenly having cover between yourself and the enemy, especially in the open, when there's no direct cover around you, it's really nice to be able to do. Next, just a couple quick tips to do with the snap hook, which is obviously being utilized a bit more as people reach more of a late game status and feel more confident in using limited items like this. I don't know about you, but I actually have the most blueprints in my friend group, and I don't have a snap hook blueprint. So the few I find I have to hold on to and use to my best ability, so I'm still not able to use them as much as I want. Which is why maybe I'm learning this late, but maybe you don't know it either. It's basically you have control over the snap hook movement when you're firing it. All you have to do is move left or right, hold back or up, or basically hold spacebar to go up. So if I hit the top of this right, you might think I'm going to collide with it or maybe mantle it. But no, if I hold spacebar while I'm going, I go over it, giving me new movement options. So it also works on pillars and, objects of this nature by moving left or right to go past it and maintain your momentum. So as I hit this and I hold right, I'll go past it. So as you can see, we can combine this into a simple concept, giving ourselves a little bit of height, a lot of momentum, and then transfer that into a slide, even on a flat surface. But in this case, in the training range, obviously this is a great example of a longer slide and the idea of that. But let's reverse it, coming back up. You see how it just gets me straight out of here, flying forward with the same momentum, bit of a slide into some cover here. So the application of this is really cool. And I would definitely be playing with this a lot more than I have been if I had access to snap hooks in a reasonable way. Hopefully, blueprints start spawning soon or something. Another thing for the snap hook though is an incredible way to deal with the matriarch. This is using the new deadline mine, which does 1000 damage in a single hit, which is basically 10 hullcracker shots. This will one-shot a bombardier or bastion, that kind of thing. Any large arc really, except for your queens and your new matriarch. So as you can see, you can really just run up to a bastion bombardier, pop it on, dead. But if you want to just be unfair to a bastion with its flat top surface, you could just snap hook to it, get on top, and then do that for free. This also works as the same concept against the queen and of course the matriarch, which is actually becoming a common strategy for the matriarch. Just zip hooking to the roof of it, placing multiple of these deadlines, throwing yourself off, and then watching the explosion. Each mine gives you about 7,000 XP compared to the, 500 or less from each hullcracker shot. Just a couple of these and you'll have the matriarch very low very quickly and could be a reliable solo strat. One last thing I want to mention in the video though is these extra case locations. In the damn battlegrounds, you've got these outposts. There's multiple around the map, like the Formical outpost or the South Swamp outpost. They have a main building and a tower. You go in there and on the ground level, there might be a weapon case, which is always really nice. But people never seem to actually go up to the second level. To get up there, you can use any of the surfaces and climb up, like just going on the shelves. Then by aiming the camera out to the side and jumping as you step off the shelf, then turning and mantling to climb up, you can reach that second level pretty quick. Up here then, you have all kinds of cases, whether it's grenades or weapon case potential. And of course, these can contain blueprints, which we're all desperately hunting right now. It is a shock to me how every single time I go there, I can always go up there, and if the cases have spawned, no one's looted them. So I think people just don't know, figured I'd include it in the video. But yeah, there you have it. That is our newest set of mistakes you might be making and useful tips to know. If you guys have any suggestions or extra information about what we talked about today, let us know in the comments below. But until next time, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.